think we've seen enough to believe in these teams. Are we full on considering them championship contenders? And if the answer is yes, those two teams are among how many legit title contenders that we've seen up to this point in the season?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, both those teams are contenders. And like the Cavs, I think earlier this year, like I kind of said that I was a little bit skeptical on, would they be able to make a run in the playoffs, because they've came up short over and over and over again. And at times, like, the defense had been there. I didn't really think they had like the offensive weapons to get over the hump. Like I felt like that was kind of the issue in that series against Boston last year. It was like, if Donovan Mitchell can't get it going, like who's going to get it going? And like now you see Evan Mobley starting to knock down more threes, and like that's spacing the floor for everybody else. And they got guys coming off Karis LeVert is like a 6 man of the year candidate. Max Strus is back and healthy. Like they have the depth now to kind of, or offensive depth, scoring depth, to be able to allow Donovan Mitchell to average his fewest points per game he's averaged since his rookie season, and the team still be having one of the best years in franchise history. So, the Cavs have kind of proven to me on both sides of the ball that they are a through and through contender. They are a threat to Boston. I still think Boston is kind of the gold standard in the Eastern Conference and in the NBA, even with the struggles they've had recently, just because we've seen teams like that before that kind of just go through the day-to-day regular season, and then they flip the switch in the playoffs, and it's kind of like, all right, maybe we were overreacting to everything that was going on. On the OKC side, like, I mean, they were they were dubbed as contenders from the start. So, I don't know why that would change. I still think just defensively, they are so good, that just the switchability and the way that they can defend multiple positions. They have guys that can, lock down bigs. They have guys that can lock down like star wing players and like really apply ball pressure to, star point guards and things like that. Like they can do all these different things defensively that make life hell for opposing teams. So, I mean, them two, along with the Celtics, I mean, that's at least 3 championship contenders. I would extend that to New York is still a championship contender in my mind. I still don't really know what to do with like Houston and Memphis. Like those are 2 teams that are playing really, really well. I don't know if I would put them in championship contention level yet. You have teams like the Nuggets that like you got Nikola Jokic. They've had their struggles this year, but like you have him, you are a championship contender. I feel the same way about Giannis. You have Giannis, you are a championship contender. That might be where I draw the line. So that's 5 teams that I am very confident and comfortable right now saying are championship contenders. Boston, New York, Milwaukee, Cleveland in the East, 6 teams, sorry. And then it's Oklahoma City and Denver in the West for me right now. The Clippers are a team that is kind of like, all right, Kawhi's back. What do we make of them? The Lakers got LeBron and AD. Like they're always going to be able to make a run, but can they really get over the hump? Minnesota has not been consistent enough for me this season, even though they, made a deep run last year. Same goes with Dallas, especially with Luka out. We don't know how healthy he's going to be when he returns. I'm not too confident in saying those guys those teams are definite championship contenders. So I would say that list ends at, what did I just say? 7 teams. 7 teams are legitimate contenders in the NBA right now. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, the one team I think I might add, and like you said, really hinging on health is Dallas, because I maybe I've just gone completely full circle on that team, because last year I was out on Dallas. I didn't believe in them, and I really just used a bad first impression to really be out on them, and they proved me wrong stop after stop. I think they're a team who does check all the boxes when healthy, and if they can get Luka Doncic back and on the floor and back in rhythm with enough of a runway toward the postseason, then I think they'll be fine, because he has kind of approached, and I think a tier below, but you talk about that world's greatest player level when you talk about a Giannis and a Jokic, and Shea's getting there as well. Luka is right there as far as if you have him, you have a chance to win ball games. I think it's interesting you pointed out Houston and Memphis when I was preparing for this. I kind of coupled them together as teams who they could do something, make a move, deadline's a few weeks away, and change how we view them completely. I don't know if it's a Jimmy Butler move, which there's been a saga with that as well since the last time we recorded, but something like that they could do to improve. They both have the ability and the assets to make those types of moves, or that type of move to get there. So I don't want to discredit what those teams have done. Houston is second in the Western Conference, 6 games behind OKC. I don't think any of us would have predicted them to be second in the West midway through the season, but they're taking care of business. And Memphis, despite all the injuries, you talked about Ja being in and out of the lineup, they're still winning games. They're 8 games out of first place, and they're kind of quietly getting it done, even though Ja's dunks are really loud.